So here we are in the MPH at the moment. Got nice wind. I'm just running genset number 4 here. Running pretty much the minimum load it can run, about 50 kilowatts. It's basically just there for the wind turbines to synchronise to. So our two turbines are doing about 130 kilowatts. We've got enough wind at the moment to do 560 kilowatts. We're using about 84% wind energy at the moment. Just an overview of the engine room here, showing the air handlers, as well as the gensets and the cooling radiators, the louvers and the cooling fans which open to cool them based on the engine water temperature. The room is pressurised here. That's just done by a difference in the incoming air versus the outgoing air, obviously. It's also temperature controlled, so it's a bit of a juggle between this recirculating airflow through here versus the fresh air coming in. You see in the plenum we've got 10 degrees. Outside at the moment, we've got just over 0 and 24 knots of nice wind. Our site services. This is how we heat our buildings all around the site. Water comes back from the buildings, pump obviously. This isn't as simple as it looks. There's actually heat exchangers from the engines that run into the site services to keep the engine coolant separate from the site services loop. We run down here. This is a electric boiler. What it's got these BGIs which modulate the load basically, and they make up the difference between the turbines and the actual. So basically they are there to regulate the load and give us this heat. If we were running purely engines, we'd have probably two engines running normally. They're good for 128 kilowatts each. There'd be enough secondary heat coming off those heat exchangers in summer anyway that their boilers don't run. We've got two diesel boilers over here as well, and you can see it's leaving here about 72 degrees back out around the site to make our water, all of our water, our drinking water, everything. We've got what we call a melt bell. So what it is, basically it's a submersible pump encased in a big copper finned enclosure which transfers heat to the surrounding water. So again, we've got an electric boiler here, so when we've got surplus electricity like we do at the moment, we use that. That's just circulating on this heat exchanger loop here. And on the secondary side, we've got the same thing, basically another loop. The water goes down to the melt bell and returns. So you can see at the moment it's returning about 50 degrees. This side's, well, you can see the temperatures there. So that's running nicely at the moment. We're basically making water for free off the wind energy. Come winter, maybe when there's not enough wind or whatever, we have to run the diesel boiler. But at the moment it's not hard to melt. This is pretty much filled with runoff from the melt streams coming off the mountain at the moment. So it's not a lot of energy going in there really. So from the water supply building we pump over the tank house. This is just storage. Our potable water. It's also our firefighting water. These three tanks are inside a large building, so the building itself is insulated and heated, so there's no chance of them freezing